coming, but to make sure that 2020 is gone. So I echo those sentiments, and I'm like, yes, I think I'll stay up too for just that same reason. So let's hope that that happens. Seems like I never wanted to get here, but it's finally getting here. All right, we'll see what happens. All right, good morning. Market is very slow as this week between Christmas and New Year's. Obviously, it's very slow. So the anticipation of a lot of activity is kind of quashed, but it's okay. We're here and we can enjoy each other's company while we wait for something to happen. Yesterday, our couple of levels worked out very nicely for us, and hopefully you were able to take advantage of them, given that it was very slow the rest of the day, and probably going to be the same today, but it's okay. Let's give you our levels for this morning. Our pivot this morning is 37.44. 37.44. Resistance on the upside at 48, 55, 60, 65. Support below at 39, 31, 25, and 18. Pivot again, 44. Support at 39, 31, 25, and 18. Resistance on the upside at 48, 55, 60, and 65. We are trading mini S&Ps here. We are trying to, we don't believe the markets go straight up or straight down, and we're trying to find those levels of inflection that give us an opportunity to scalp the market, make a little bit of money off of those levels, plus also any price action opportunities that occur. We're looking for about 2 to 3 points on our trades, given the volatility. Obviously, when things go a little bit more crazy or volatile, or there's more liquidity that comes into the market, we have to extend or expand our stops, and then all of that goes according to risk tolerance of each individual, plus in addition to that what you are and market conditions. So this is not a perfect game here. We are always adjusting to market conditions. And if you look at the chat box area, you'll see the levels all typed up for you. So we always adjust to market conditions. Sometimes it's a little bit more we're busier. Sometimes we're less busy because of volatility. Either way, we have no idea what's going to happen. We just have our game plan, and we see what happens, or whatever the day brings us, we are accepting. Like I said, sometimes we look to average about 4 to 5 trades in the course of a day. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. Obviously, yesterday was a lot less, and probably today too is going to be a lot less, but that's okay. It's the time of the year where unless there's some drastic news that comes out someplace that's going to affect us in any sort of way, it's going to be that kind of lack of opportunity. But it's okay. Like I said, there's always going to be next week, and there's always going to be 2021, I hope. All right, so we'll see what happens, right? Yeah, it's market here is happy over the last couple of days. As you can see, a very slow, sustained rally, given the conditions here with the stimulus deal that the president finally signed, and he got that going. And now, they're debating about making it larger, and so who knows what's going to happen. But all in all, it's a positive thing, and the market's been waiting for this thing to kind of give it some legs to continue its upward trend here over the last couple weeks. The market discounted a lot of bad news coming from the virus in hopes of this deal that they put together, and we'll see if that's true or not. But again, this week with the fact that things are slow in regards to the time of year, don't expect much to happen. So consequently, just be patient And whatever the market gives us, gives us. If it doesn't, that's fine too. There's always tomorrow, or in our case, next week, because it's just this time of the year. That's all it is. All right. Again, if anybody has any questions as to anything that we do here, we have the chat box area up. Please put them in there. If you just put it to panelists, only Brad and I see it, so you don't have to be concerned about anybody else seeing anything. If that's something that you're worried about, and just jot down your question or ask or comments or whatever you'd want to do. Just put it in that area there, because I have that box open versus the Q&A section that I don't have open. So anything that you want to say or add or subtract from this conversation, please throw it in there. I welcome any questions. It's always a good sign to have some questions. At least I know where you're at and what you're looking for, and that helps me with maintaining some kind of camaraderie between us, right? Especially some of the new folks that are here for the first time. I see we have a bunch of new people in here this morning, so welcome. I wish I could tell you we're going to be a little bit busy and get excited about the trade, but we never know. We never know what's going to happen. We give you our levels, but we have plenty of price action opportunities that occur. Some of our traders maybe got long there around the 43 area if you were a little aggressive based on a reason that we could have. I don't mention all our opportunities here simply because it wouldn't be fair to everybody. I use our levels as our guiding post, and then sometimes we do make some calls in regards to price action activities during the day. It's a little trading room that we have here. My background is I've traded in the bond pit for many a year, and then we made this transition here to this room and electronic trading only because I was up in my office and getting a little bored of looking at the walls and the TV, and having to trade coming off the floor is definitely an adjustment considering I had, I don't know, 200, 300, 400 people standing around me and yelling at each other, and then all of a sudden I go up to my office and it's kind of, shh, don't say a word, you might wake somebody up, stuff like that. So welcome. So that's why we're doing this trading room. And then we've got a lot of good traders in here. We throw ideas at each other. Well, actually, you throw it to me, and then if I like the idea, I share it. It's not sometimes private conversations, especially with some of our students that we have. So, I don't share everything. But yeah, most of the time I do for sure. All right, so that's where this room came from and why we're doing it and how it works. And so we don't call out trades. We kind of give you ideas of what you should be doing. And it's up to you, because as an individual trader, whether you decide to take the trade or not. Somebody asked about a record that I have. I don't keep records because there's going to be some traders who are going to take some trades that others wouldn't take, because each individual is different. And if you want to leave, that was your choice. You can, if you wanted to stay here, because if I don't give you a record, you're leaving. Well, okay, you can leave because I don't have a record. We definitely talk about the trades that we make. That's for sure. In regards to records, I don't ever, I might take 5 or 6 different trades than somebody else, and then somebody else might take 5 or 6 more trades than I do. So it's that the question to me is has always been everybody wants to see a record that we have. I just don't understand the question. I really don't, because I've stood around a lot of traders in my day, and not every trader took every trade that was given to them. It just didn't happen that way. And I'm just surprised that some people are so hell bent on, oh, what have you been doing for me lately? Whatever. Okay, it is what it is. I like I said, I've stood around a lot of traders, and I could never do what somebody next to me was doing, and they could never do what I'm doing, and I respected that. I didn't make it a big deal. You have to learn how to understand. What we try to do here is we try to teach you what's going on and try to help you in regards to understanding some of the reasons the markets move around. Yeah, 39 is our support level on the downside here. And we believe that these inflection points gives us opportunity, and we try to scalp them. That's all we're trying to do here. There's other price action opportunities that occur there, that do occur. Yes, I did trade with Tom Baldwin. He stood on the opposite side of where I was standing, and he was very he was the king of the bond room for a long time, right? I mean, there were other great traders in there too, but Tom was definitely one of them. And it's a shame because the bond pit and the whole open outcry was unique in and of itself, and then computers came around. That kind of ruined that. As it ruins a lot of things. Everybody knows this. Yes, but Tom was trading. Yes, I traded with Tom many a time. Even yelled at me a couple times. So I yelled back at him too, but it was okay. I guess it was like one of those mutual respect kind of things. I guess the first time he yelled at me, I'm like, who's he talking to? But that's another story for another day. Anyway, yeah. So again, any question? Yeah. So yeah, we trade in the bond pit, and again, everybody that says to me that they want some kind of the record as to how we do things or what we do, as to me, it's I can never trade like Tom, and I'm sure Tom will look at me and say, "Hey, what the hell are you doing?" So it is what it is. I respect him for what he did, but I can never do what he did. So that's that. That's the part that I don't get when people ask for, "Oh, what's your record?" and then they threaten to leave. It's like, okay, it is what it is. Anyway, we are inched. We are inching. We've hit our bands there. Have worked very nicely. If you're a little aggressive in these tight little markets, the 41 area, and then up here at initially 43. Both of those gave us a couple rotation. Again, you have to be a little aggressive taking those opportunities. They are there, and you have to know when to take them. They're not always going to work, and you have to understand the risk involved to take them the first time, second time, so on and so forth. So there is we give you rules, or kind of rules to follow a little bit. Reasons, I guess, are the rules that we talk about. Reasons to trade. And if they justify those reasons and you are comfortable taking that position, then you are able to trade that level. Traders have a lot of opportunity here to learn how to trade. The hard part, well, one of the easy parts of what we do here, because we have our methodology that we teach, and it's straightforward, nothing too complicated. I don't believe, because I've come from the trading pits, we had to, it was pretty simple. You bought and you sold, took positions if you did, based on technicals, and you were able to, we didn't have the information flow that most traders have now in front of them with these, small computers. Like, we didn't have a handheld computer that put in one hand. When we finally got to computers, at the time it was a bigger laptop, those, and not a laptop. So it was totally different. People have much more information at their hands right now, and so we've incorporated that information into trading a little bit, and it gives us an opportunity to trade. So we have reasons to trade in front of us, so that's good. And but you have to remember that everybody has those reasons to trade, and sometimes the fact that everybody has the tools to trade also helps with the opportunity, because if you kind of understand what people are looking at, and kind of understand why there would be a support level or resistance level, then it would help to know where the traders are looking for these opportunities to trade or scalp the market, and you get those opportunities to trade them. Again, we're looking for 2 to 3 point trades on our levels. We haven't had an opportunity right now. We have support down here at 39. We inched down to about the 41 level a couple times. And again, it was a little buy there the first time. If you were a little aggressive, it's a little range bound, but he could have made a case for it. And if you did take the 41, you would probably have to take the 39 as well. So that's sometimes how it works, So anyway, so again, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm doing a lot of talking right now because I'm just waiting for something to get triggered in the market, and if it happens, it happens. If it's not, that's okay. There's no reason to trade if we don't at least let the market give us a good opportunity to trade. Otherwise, we are just patient and wait for the market to point to a trade. Otherwise, no reason to trade and to get involved in the market when it's just in a range and chopping around. Let's give you some trading or business news that I get, and maybe we can share and gives us some insight as to some other things, and maybe while we wait here for the market to kind of give us an opportunity to trade. Excuse me. More stock records seem to be in store today, with futures a little bit up this morning after the signing of a COVID relief bill that lifted reopening plays like cruise lines, airlines, and casinos. Mega caps led the averages on Monday, while 9 of the 11 S&P sectors ended up green, amid continuing support for the Santa Claus rally. The market right now is clearly foaming at the mouth, said some analysts, though the rapid gains seen this year are dividing some investors on how to proceed in 2021. S&P is up 15% for the year, and the Dow has advanced. S&P's 500 is up 15%, and the Dow has advanced 6.5%. And the NASDAQ 43% despite the pandemic. That's amazing, actually, right? Totally amazing. The omnibus parallel of the bears. Omnibus parallels have been made between this market and the internet bubble, and a correction could be at least in the cards. Valuations are also stretched beyond memory, with margin debts at record, while traditional stock matrix and fundamentals have gone out the window. Runaway shares for recent IPOs like DoorDash, Airbnb, Snowflake can accidentally cause some alarm, especially when the companies aren't profitable, and the CEOs express bewilderment over their stock price. It's the bearish tone. The bullish tone. Assurances from the Fed that it will continue easing money policy, keeping markets stable, interest rates low. Retail investors who have piled into the market this year also seem to be a driving force for the market's upward trajectory. The continuance presidential election is now over, and a nationwide vaccine rollout further signals the start of eventual return to quote-unquote normal. And to quote Warren Buffett, be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. Take that for you. I always tell my kids, if you want to buy it when nobody wants it, that's when you want to buy it. I guess that's what that means. Be fearful when others are greedy. Not going to say and be greedy when others are fearful. Words to live by. That means buy dips, big dips, buy more. There you go. Coming from Warren Buffett himself, not only from me. All right. All aboard for the 2000 stimulus bandwagon. The U.S. House of Representatives just passed a bill called the Cash Act of 2020 that would increase the amount of second stimulus from 600 to 2,000 after a call from President Trump to increase the payments. That puts him and the congressional Democrats on the same side of an issue for the first time in 4 years. No, I added that. Though it remains to be seen as Republicans in the Senate will follow suit. Strange times indeed. That was what was written. Strange times. And more about the bill. The Cash Act would also boost the amount awarded for each dependent to $2,000. For example, a family of 4 would get $8,000 second stimulus instead of the $2,400. It would also include an additional amount for older children, elderly parents, and that have moved in, and anyone else that wants support and can claim as a dependent on upcoming tax returns. Moreover, the legislation retroactively amends the law authorizing the first round stimulus check under the CARES Act so that all dependents would qualify for an extra $500 payment allowed for children age 16 and younger. I did add that, yes. I'm glad you're listening. Somebody's listening. I'm glad you're laughing at least. It's very hard to talk and not get like a response back from people because I just talk. I'm not Brad. I can't. I don't do what Brad does. I like to trade. That's what I do. And when I'm talking, because there's no trade, this is what happens. I'm always like thinking, should I have said that or shouldn't I have said that? Did people know I was joking or not? Because I had to tell them sometimes. But yeah, this is what happens when I don't trade. I talk too much and I talk too much and I talk to myself even more. But we live in Chicago and we're expecting a snowstorm tonight. So big first snowstorm of the year, big snowstorm. That's what you always say, Don. Just sell one and it'll work out at some point. You're right. It's like a couple of bond traders were standing next to each other, big bond traders, and one wanted the market to go up and the other one wanted the market to go down. So one would offer the market to go down and the other one would buy the market to support the market. Oh, don't worry, I do stand up sometimes. And so they would have this like standing right next to each other, going at it. One would offer the market, the other one would buy it, and the other one would buy it, and the other one would, they're always like, they're right next to each other, but one wanted the market to go up and the other one wanted the market to go down. So he's offering it and the other guy's buying it. He's offering it, the other guy's buying it, and the market slowly down ticks. He just takes the card. He goes, I'll just put these in my pocket. I'll cover them later. So the guy who was long was losing the market was going down a little bit. He just puts the card in his pocket. I'll cover these later. Yeah, okay. A couple of 400 or 500 lots just sitting there because he was trying to keep the market. I'll cover him later. Puts it in his pocket. He's the same guy that when I don't know if you all remember the first war that came out when I think that little quickie war that we had in Kuwait, right? And we were trading at night, and there was night trading. There wasn't any, there wasn't electronic trading at the time. And one of the traders, big bond traders, was trading at night, and the market rallied big time because the war anticipation, whatever. I think it was a war. Right? Yeah. Well, I don't know what it went up or down one way or the other. So I was out in a basketball game and I saw I saw this trader there, and I said, I walked up to him and I started talking to him. I go, "Oh, by the way, were you there the night the war started?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, yeah." He goes, "Well, what happened?" He goes, "Well, let's put it this way: there was 1,000 lot that was being offered, and he's, I always tell you that when there's no volume in the market, that you can always have a big individual, big institution that can always move the market around. So he liked to go, he loved to trade, and he would go at night too, and because he had the ability to move markets around. So and it was, there was 1,000 lot offered in the bond bid, and he goes, well, I decided to buy it, and at the same time I decided to buy it. I thought maybe I could scalp it for a few ticks. The news of the war came out, and well, he goes, let's put it this way. He goes, that was the quickest $1 million I ever lost. Okay, all right. So there you go. So it happens. Some of the best traders, that happens. You just don't know, right? You just never know what you're trading. You never know when news is going to affect you and everything like that. So that was the story that he gave me when I saw him after that first, that first way back when war that happened. So as a nice guy, he obviously kept trading because he was there after that. Wasn't like it. Yeah, he said it was the quickest million. So he's obviously lost millions before and made some. but that was what he told me that day. Yeah, Don, of course, that was a good short. Like I said, that's what you like to do. That's definitely what you like to do. You cover him here, I'm sure. So nice little trade. All right, we're slowly drifting down here at the 39 area, trying to see what it wants to do. Again, just keep your stop in. We don't love any trade. You never know when there's going to be a news factor like that story I told you that's going to make the market extend more than you thought, considering there's absolutely nothing going on, right? But that happens. And so that's why we always tell you to make sure you keep your stops in place, because we don't know when some news is going to affect it, especially when it's really slow like this. Because you think that it shouldn't be moving, and it does, and all of a sudden you're like keeping it a little longer than you should be. And but that happens, and so if we are out now because it got through 2 points, it's fine. We look at our next level on the downside we have here is the 31 area. Again, we're looking to scalp the market, so when we are wrong, we just get out, and we definitely are wrong here, and for whatever reason, this is the biggest move the market has seen in the last, I don't know, day and a half. But it is what it is. Quickly rotating down, and again, there's always some news coming out here. Yeah, we definitely got stopped out on that one, so that's fine. Sometimes your best trades are your stops, right? I mean, this is a perfect example. You definitely didn't want to sit there and hold on to it for no reason. Because usually when the levels don't work, there's a reason for them not working. And this is one situation where there's definitely some kind of news that's coming out that's creating this little push here to the downside. Next level on the downside that we have is the 31 area. Definitely some news coming out here, right? All right, so we're all the way down here to 31. Again, like I said, just keep your stops in there, because we don't know when these situations are going to occur, and they flush us out like this. And if it's too risky for you, I get it. All of a sudden, it's too risky, right? Who knew that we're going to get some volatility like right now? We haven't had this in like 4 days. All right, the settlement price here is at 27.5, just in case some of you were wondering. Okay, getting a little bit of a rotation back up here to the 31 area, where we're giving you a chance here to get out if you didn't get out. Like I said, sometimes the other good thing is sometimes we get the best trade you have is a scratch, given the volatility here. But we are bouncing here a little bit, so. But hopefully, it gives you a chance to get out of a few of the contracts for a little bit of a maybe a little bit of a profit, but definitely. If you didn't get out, it's giving you a chance here to lighten the load a little bit if you're trading more than one contract. So again, sometimes, I've said this many a time, sometimes the best trade you have is a scratch, because, three things could happen in a trade. You could make money, which is good. You can lose money, which is bad. And you can also scratch a trade, which means you buy it at 31 and sell it at 31, and that's fine. Because sometimes, the market's going to give us a flush one way or the other, and we're not expecting it, but we hold on to a little bit because of the opportunity was there, but all of a sudden there's added volatility. And again, this is when the added volatility comes in, you gotta just understand that it's here, and maybe extend your stops just a little bit to take that into consideration. And but if you're not given the opportunity to make money on it, like, it's definitely hanging around the 31 here a little bit. So it's definitely giving you a chance to get out of some, and then if you have a little bit more, you can try to hold on to it to get a little bit of a rotation higher. We shall see, but you definitely, again, if you're trading multiple contracts, and everybody's different. Sometimes if you're only trading one contract, that's all right. Don't worry about it. You take your profit, you take your loss, and go on and look for the next opportunity. If you're trading multiple contracts, it gives you an opportunity to get into some, get out of some, and work the trade. Sometimes it's easy that we don't have to work any trades, and other times we get in this situation where we're working a trade. So if you lighten the load here a little bit, and now you can keep a little bit and see if we can't get a little. It's trying to push a little bit higher, but like I said, who knew what news came out? That we will find out eventually. We're always the last ones to find out. I'll tell you that much. I wish we had like an earpiece to any kind of information flow that's going to affect the market, but we don't. And these days, like right now, because of the light volume, you get an overreaction because there's not that much volatility in there. I mean, we've traded 250 right now, and it's 9 o'clock. We should be at close to 500, and we should, but it's not. So it is what it is. So the stimulus we're talking about, as we try to inch up here a little bit, if you're trying to hold on to these 31s, giving us a little bit of a rotation. See if we can't get back up to the 37 area, 35 area. That'd be a nice little opportunity for us. Again, you can have a trailing stop right now. If we get below 30, you want to be out of any short longs. Okay, if you still have some contracts, you got to take some profits along the way. Just like I said, you have to lighten the load when it gets back up here to the 31. You also got to take, if you're trading multiple contracts, you got to take some profits also. And then we'll see what happens with the trade. If we get below 30, I'd be out of everything and just be flat again. So we're talking about the stimulus checks here. So talking about retroactively giving more money to and to people with some, from the last one. Additional $500 allowed for children and 16 of age and under. So there's a frequently asked question here: if the stimulus check is the stimulus check taxable income, and how will it affect my tax return? The direct payments will not factor into income tax liability and won't influence, offset, or factor into the size of your refund. All right, so we dip down there to the 30. We never got below it. If you're trying to stay a little long here, looking for a little bit of a push up to the 35 area, that'd be a nice trade and make up for some of these, make up for some of this 39 that got us, get us out of there. Right. Again, well, we did get right up to the 35 area there. That's where I was trying to get out with the little contracts that I got on. And hopefully, if you were able to stick with it, maybe you were able to stay long. And if you have any left over, get up to the 38 area. That would be my next exit strategy for any longs that I got left over. So again, we get out of the 39s because it looked like there was some extra momentum going. How do you work through the pain? It's not there. There's no easy way to talk. That's the hard part, right? The hard part of trading. Somebody told me the other day that there's no way of talking. I mean, how do I, the pain is tough. Sometimes the pain is tough, made it easier for me to get out of the 39s quicker because of the way the market was trading. So I was out of that. And then I quickly went down to 31. I kind of scaled in a little bit. I lightened the load when it first came down there because of the way it was moving. So I scaled in a little bit lower than that, but that was only because of what the market was telling me. So I got in at about 30 and then 29, even though it went down to 28. But that helped me stay with the trade a little bit. But I would have been out again, 27. I would have been definitely out below that. So I have my areas that I know that I want to get out, and I just kind of stick to that. And there's no secret to being able to stick with the trade when you get that slippage going, right? The slippage is the hard part. To believe that it's you have to believe in the levels, and you have to believe in how the market was trading. And obviously at the 39, something happened. I have no idea what. Who knows? We'll find out in a little bit. And then it just kind of helped me with the 31 a little bit because I adjusted just a touch, and I was able to stay along with it. But there's no easy way to. That's probably the one thing I can't teach is how to handle the slippage, and each individual is different with how they deal with it. And again, you have to adjust a little bit to the market conditions, right? And that's what you have to kind of do is adjust to the market conditions more than anything else. And that for initially was a little bit goofy because it sliced through 39 like it was no big deal. And there was some support there. I mean, there was some good support there, and it didn't even react to it. So, but it is what it is. I can't answer that question, to be honest with you. It's there's no easy answer for that one. So the stimulus, so they're gonna, see what happens there. What will Senate Republicans do? The situation is fluid. So stay tuned to imminent developments, which could be what happened there. So far, there are some Republican senators who back higher stimulus checks, while lawmakers could also be pressured by constituents who are struggling financially. President Trump is also behind the effort, which may be enough to trigger support for larger payments. The options. Senator McConnell hasn't said whether the Senate would take up the House bill, make an attempt to vote on a different one, or could increase direct payments, or simply ignore the legislation. Silence could be interpreted as a lack of support for the House bill due to the price tag of the increased payments, which would cost $464 billion, according to the Joint Committee on Taxations. All right, so again, we got up to the 35, which was kind of what I was hoping that we would get back up to. And now we're just slowly drifting back down here. So if you were able to maybe hang in there with the 31s and again, looking about 3 points, we just got down right down to 28, but didn't really trade that much down there. It just kissed it by a little bit. I had the 20. Remember, I said 27.5. There was the settlement price. That was backing me up there a little bit based on the fact that we like the settlement price. So kind of gave me a little bit of a reason to maybe stay long there. Kind of gave you that as an opportunity there for some of you who were trying to decide what you wanted to do with those 31s at that moment in time. What does that mean, pending orders? You mean orders that are already in the market? That my orders are already in the market? I just adjusted my scale on the 31s a little bit. If that's what you mean. Let's see what else we could talk about. Here's the market kind of. Yeah, those are yes, those are things that you could definitely get. That could get. That's how we get into our momentum trades. So you know, I've got my orders in there around the levels already, and then the stops are in there also, and buy stops and sell stops are also opportunities for us to get into trades once we find a momentum opportunity. So yes, those are all something that we could use. Federal officials have launched new drone rules that could help open the skies for widespread commercial deliveries, allowing operators to fly small drones over people and at night under certain conditions. The regulations will give the FAA and law enforcement a handle on what's actually flying all around the skies, requiring remote identification technology to pinpoint them from the ground. That's kind of cool, actually, but you know, deliver a package to your house. Drone flying over. All right, and obviously we've had a little bit of a hiccup here. We got a little bit of pressure on the market. Could not get above this 35 level. And now we're coming back down here. We're flat. Next level that we're looking at is the 25 area. It was not a number that created that volatility, so I don't know what created that volatility. The average for the the green average of 200 day, and the blue band there is for the Bollinger Band. All right, we continue to have a little bit of pressure here on the market as we could not get above that 35. If we're trying to tell you if you were long there, to look to exit there around the 35. As we continue to come down here to the lows, the next little level of support is the 25 area. So let's see what happens down there. Uh, Seems like we are going to get there. Who knew we were going to get busy all of a sudden in the middle of the day? As all of a sudden we are getting down here. So again, if it's a little bit, all of a sudden we got some volatility. Who knew, right? Who knew we were going to get busy all of a sudden? But I guess maybe they're not happy with what's going on there in Washington. Maybe they were expecting some kind of relief package coming out of Washington there, but they're not getting it. And all of a sudden we got some, and also, I mean, you got to consider maybe a little bit of profit taking here, considering the highs, where we're at. Right. Nice little rotation here off of our 25 area. Give you a chance to buy it into lower end if you were a little bit nervous there as far as your scale, and give you a chance here to pop it back up here. You got to take some profits along the way. Remember that, especially since there's a lot of pressure on the market here. And they did go down to our lower end there, so you got to take off a little bit off of the lower end of the entry point there as we wait for the 27 area. Got to respect the market. 27.5 area would, I mean, that would be a little bit of resistance given the fact that it was the settlement price also kind of slated through it, and 28 here would also be, so they got to take some profit, respect what the market is doing. So again, if you got in there at the lower end of the range, you take some profits here against the 6.5, and then see if we can get back up here and keep a tighter stop down below, as we are definitely under some pressure here. No idea why. I'll try to find out. Let me see if I can try to find out here. Give me a second. All right, we are getting up here to the 27 area, so nice little trade there if you to get in against a 25. And again, you got to respect this 27.5 definitely. So you got to get, I would get out at 27 here, only because of what I said before. So hopefully you're able to get out. And a nice little quick rotation there for us off of the 25. Amazing. All right, nice little double bottom there. Went and retested it. All right, nice little push in. Once we went and retested that little dip down there, gave us, if you were trying to stay long and it held, gave you a reason to stick with it. They just went and retested that little spike down there and then came right back up. So nice little trade there for you if you were if you did buy them against that level. All right, so now we're just like coming back up. Right, so it did go right down to the 25, got down to 20, what they got, 24, right? And 24 and a quarter, come back up. So the 25 level worked very nicely for you here. Hopefully, again, you can, you know, you uh, gotta believe in the levels and then let the market kind of do its thing. I know sometimes it's a little bit scary, and the news creates the volatility for it to go down to our levels or up. You know, it goes both ways. And so this is what we're waiting for, some volatility. Again, we were quiet all this time. I didn't think much was going to happen. When look at this move here, this is the biggest move we had in the last, I don't know, go back to Friday. Well, we did have a little bit of a move on Thursday, but yeah, so that was it. Since Thursday, it's been very, very quiet. So who knew? And again, it's a little bit more exaggerated here simply because of the fact that there's light volume. And so you get a little bit extra push and you get that slippage that's a little bit nerve wracking sometimes. But you also it also gave us a reason to get out of that trade initially down up at the 39, only because it just did not. It wasn't even like didn't even stop there for a second. So it is what it is. And now we're just kind of trying to see what we want to do. We got resistance right now at around the 38 area. 38. That's where I would look to sell the market if we come back up there. Really, I don't got. I mean, you could maybe try 35 a little bit because that did stop there, but I look at 38. There's some good resistance on the upside. All right. So again, I think what happened here is they're balking on the $2,000 number, and I think that that is what is creating a little push to the downside. Maybe they are not going to get what they were hoping they would be getting. As the Senate is having a little bit of an issue there, trying to decide whether they take up the bill coming from the House, which I might add, I think it was veto proof, but not that that's what the president wanted. So, and again, all this stuff doesn't make any sense to me because I always thought that they were going to get this thing done before the election, right? I mean, I didn't understand why. I thought it would help them, but I don't know why they're balking or deciding now to get it done. But it just goes to dysfunctional ability of Washington these days. If they can find a way to break something, they will. All of them are got their heads up there. All right, can you lost market feed? No, I have the market feed. Are you not getting it? Okay. All right. Charts are moving, right? You can see the charts moving. Just want to make sure somebody's saying that they didn't. Um, they weren't. Yes, you got it. You just filled in the blank for me. I think everybody filled in the blank when I just said that. So you just typed it out for me. I appreciate that. All right. So the market did bounce here. We had a nice little double bottom. Yes, the 25 did work with little or no pressure. Very little pressure. Got only down to 4 1/4 there, and got us filled on both ends. So that was nice of it. Definitely make up for the 39. You had to work the 31 a little bit. So I think we did okay considering the 25 worked exceptionally well. We did go and retest and double bottom there. So if those of you who are watching that, maybe gave you a reason to maybe buy it again and stay long, and you had an out. It does that sometimes, and we talk about that. One of those things that we look at. So the thing is about trading is not only recognition of the trade is important. You have to try to find out why the market is kind of doing things, and we kind of pinpoint or highlight ideas that the market might be following and different concepts that it held before and ideas that helped before. And so that'll help you maybe stay with a trade a little bit longer. And so it's not the worst thing in the world sometimes. And the double bottom there definitely helped you if you were looking to try to stay long there. And I said keep a tighter stop only because of the fact that it did spike down there. And what it did was it went and retested the spike. First of all, we're expecting to snow tonight, and and they even gave us exact time. It's at 3 o'clock. It's going to start snowing around here. 3 o'clock. They never say that before. Anyway, no, we're not going to be here the rest of the week, and so this is it. Definitely not going to be trade on Friday. Thursday is going to be definitely. I think they stop at 12, so that's not going to really matter. And tomorrow, I think we got lucky that we got a little bit of some activity today. We got really lucky. We had this little break here, give us a chance here to trade, and give us a chance to get out of our loser and then get back into a quasi winner, and then definitely get back into a winner down at the 25. So, for those of you who are thinking that we don't do any trading around here, we do. That was just a perfect example of walking through the trade and having to work. Well, the 39 was no walking through. It was just a complete mess. That was at the beginning of this little move. But we had to work the 31 a little bit. We gave you different ideas of how to work that. Well, the 25 was a lot easier. Yeah, got us right up to 27, and then they flushed it back down to go retest that low, which again it held. Almost gave you another chance to maybe decide if you wanted to buy it again. Sometimes that happens, but we have to let the market kind of tell us. So all right, so now we've come back up here. We have resistance. I said, I think 38, 39 area. That'll be a next good resistance level. Again, anybody have any questions, please feel free to write them down in the chat box area there. All right, we're definitely in a little bit of a range here. We had, well, we have resistance around the 38, 39 area. And right now, believe it or not, it's like a little no trade zone over here. Looks a little range bound, so we don't know what's going to happen. Nice little flush originally. I think if we get, all right, let's put it this way. If we get below 23.5 on the downside, we shall get to, we have a chance to go lower and get down to the 18 area. How's that? Regular trading hours on Wednesday. Okay. On Thursday. Was yeah. Thursday. Yeah. Okay. Oh, then the bond market closes early. Consequently, again, I mean, not that there's not much business in the bond market. The bond market is almost dead right now anyway. So it's not like you're gonna, and that's why it's very tough to trade equities when, really we're not, again, the very light volume is a problem, and the fact that the bond market is also hardly anybody's trading kind of adds to the volatility. We've always said that once the bond market closes, you get that last hour of trade from 2 to 3, and the volatility in the S&Ps gets a little bit nutty because there's no counteracting force like the bonds to keep it in line. And believe it or not, it does happen sometimes. And it's kind of happening right now because there's hardly any bond trade whatsoever. And it's creating some extra volatility here in the S&Ps. So especially when there's not much going on. All right, we're just kind of range bound here and kind of going nowhere fast. So we get below 23.5 on the downside. Could be a push down to the 18 area. And on the upside, we got resistance around the 38, 39 area, at least for the time being. That could change. We could get back into, it could have found its new like area to value that it's creating right in this level here. And it could kind of just hang in here for a while. Who knows? All right, kind of range bound right now, and really tough to get anything done in these little, as the market creates some value in this new area. We had that value up above, and now it's coming back down here and creating kind of the same value area in this little level in here. Kind of hard to trade this when it's just bouncing around. We've had some nice little quick opportunities here, given the fact that we had this extra volatility that came out of nowhere. We didn't expect it. And consequently, we have to stay focused and use our stops properly and exit those trades really quick, and then kind of work the other levels as we rotated back down here, and then coming down here finally to the 25 area, which worked very nicely for us. And right now, we're just kind of hanging around this little area here. The market's trying to create some value here between this 28 and 33 area. See what it wants to do. But we've had like I said, I think we've had more trades in the last half an hour than we did the last 2 days. Oh, it's going back to Friday, so very good. At least we had a little bit of trade, which is good. Again, we can't help the fact the market doesn't do much or just stays in a very narrow range. Sometimes we just look, to today where we actually got some volatility and some movement, and that gave us a chance to a trade, which was nice. Hopefully you were able to hang in there with it and stay focused and accept the fact that we got some volatility all of a sudden. They gotta, and then start trading. Just never know with these markets. It was quiet for the last 3 days, and then all of a sudden, boom, and we get this big move. So, but that's what trading's all about. Staying focused, understand why you keep your stops in there. We always talk about our stops. Sometimes you have to work it a little bit. You get that extra little slippage there that occurs because of the light volume, and then it gives you a chance to have to actually work a level. Then we said we wanted to get out, and then consequently got right up to 35, which suggested that we were going to get out of any longs that we had. I didn't know it was going to go back down. If I did, I would have told you to get short there at 35, but we don't know these things. It just looked like it was some good resistance and a good target. And it did, and then it flushed back down to the 25 area, and then came rotating back up there. So that gives a nice little opportunity there to make a little bit of money, as the 24 really worked nicely there, and we did go and double bottom. Gave you another reason, maybe if you were looking to buy it or had a reason to buy it at that point. That was probably a price action opportunity there if you were looking for one, letting the market kind of dictate what you're going to do. And then we came back up here, and now we're just, it looks like I said, a little range bound between 28 and 33 area. That's where we're at right now. Did go right back down to that 28 a little bit a couple minutes ago there, and then came right back up here. So we're definitely range bound. Got resistance right now at around the 38, 39 area. I'll stick with that. You could probably, and we did have a little trouble getting above 35. So yeah, but we are, again, so it's a little range bound right now. So play a little range game if you are into that. We don't like to trade the range game, but some of our traders do like it. Some of our traders are very good at it, actually, but I'm not very good at the range game. Any questions? Again, any ideas, thoughts, comments that you'd like to share? Jot them down in the chat box area, and love to get your opinion on anything that we're doing here or not. Any comments, bad or good or bad, I guess depending on how you look at it. I'd be, definitely like to hear your comments. If you have any idea what we're doing here, I've been trying to explain it to you as we go along. So again, anything that we do here is taught. The levels that we're giving away, the price action plays that we're looking at, the reasons why you should maybe stay in a trade or get out of a trade, why you should maybe have bought it down there once we double. Any of those concepts and ideas we kind of teach in a trading methodology that it's very simple, not too complicated, because I feel that this markets are tough enough as they are. You don't need to be bogged down with a lot of things to look at. We just let the market kind of tell us or dictate what we should be doing next. And any of this stuff interests you, definitely make sure you contact us here in our chat, and Brad will get back to you. And obviously, we do this on an everyday basis. We're just trying to trade the markets, whatever they give us. Like I said, sometimes it's nothing much, and all of a sudden we get some volatility today, and we have to stay focused and trade. Always one of those things that are you just never know. All right, coming back up here at the top of the end of this little range, the 33 area. Still got resistance up there at the 38, 39. All right, coming up here to 35 again. Resistance around 38, 39. And that'll be about the probably good resistance there. Otherwise, I'm not doing much in this little range here. This is, a little quiet area. I mean, I don't like to trade this little area here. Again, if you're a range trader, you're doing okay with this. I'm just not. Again, any questions, please feel free to ask. As we're coming here to the end of our morning session, we focus more on the morning hours to give us those opportunities where we have some good ebbs and flows. The afternoon trade gets a little bit quieter. And lately it's been like that, for a while, especially in the late afternoon. But you never know what could happen, like I said. All right, getting a little range bound here. Got up to that, got earlier at 35, held very nicely, got up to there 34 and change. Coming back down here a little bit, not surprising. And just kind of doing its own thing here. Well, I mean, the morning hours, if you can manage to squeeze those in, it would be the best. Then you have the hmm, well, at night is a totally different trade, so I wouldn't really suggest trading at night. But if you can, find a way to trade till about now ish, it's only been an hour and a half, and the rest of the day could do. You get a lot of action in the morning, and then it does dwindle. The activity does dwindle as the day goes on. So, um, I would highly suggest that if you're going to work around some kind of work program, that it. And I know, some people work and they can't do it, but if it's doable, the morning, the right now is the best time. I would probably have to say that I mean, we work from 8:30 to 3, so if you are talking about trading in those hours that you're working in those hours, it's kind of tough. I would not suggest you trading at night. It's a totally different ball game. So if you can't trade at any time between 8:30 and 3, then I would, you know, obviously it's tough if you're working, and I get that. Um, but I wouldn't suggest you trade at night. So, like I said, it's got its own got its own little head to trade on. It's totally a different scenario. We are definitely range bound here. You too there, Helmut. Have a great New Year, and see you next year. We can see the range bound trades continues to play out. It seems like the market has got himself into a little bit of an opportunity here. If you're that kind of player, Skirt, to you too. Have a happy new year. I don't think so. I don't think he's trading bonds anymore. They kind of took the life out of the bond market back in 2007 and 8. Definitely a name from the past, though. Just like Tom Baldwin was a name from the past, too. All right, you can see here we're definitely range bound here for a bit at 34, 35 area. You must be. Almost making me feel old. No, no plans for New Year. Are you kidding? What plans could you have for New Year's Eve? I mean, are we in like we're not in 2021 yet, so 2020 is not a New Year's Eve party type of year. No plans. Let's hope the only reason I'm staying up till 12 is making sure, like I said, 2020 is gone. Like you told me, actually. You were the one who told me that. No, they're not. They're having their own party. I'm not invited. All right, still range bound. Pop down to that little lower end of this range, coming back up here. Very, very quiet, as you can see. They've definitely sucked out some of the volatility, but again, not too much of a surprise. It seems like it wants to create some value in this little area here. This time, though, I think if we get above the 36 area, I think they might push it up to that 38, 39 area. So I'll look for a little bit of a buying opportunity above the 36 area, and otherwise might be just kind of range bound here. So your exit strategy, if you want to play the range game, is definitely above 36. You want to be out of any shorts, and look for a push up to the 38, 39 area, and then maybe even above that if it continues. The downside, I think we get below 26, we might go retest the low, and if we get below 23.5, like I said earlier, we go retest those levels down there. With the next level we have is down at 18. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I'll give you a couple more levels below 18. We've got 11.04 and then 36.95. So 11.04 and then 36.95 if they continue to make this push here to the downside, which again would be a little bit surprising here, considering we are where we are. But then again, nothing surprises me anymore with these markets, so keep that in mind. So again, we got our parameters. We're in a little bit of a range game here. We said 34. Looks like the 34, 35 area is holding, but again, if we get above 36, definitely want to be out of any shorts, and with the possibility of getting above 36, we'll make a push up to that 38, 39 area, and even higher than that maybe. And then on the downside, we get below 26, got to push down to the lows, and if we get below the 23.5 there, we'll look for the 18. So we have our parameters there with that kind of trades that kind of we're looking for, and in the middle here, the best I can say is just to be a little bit patient and kind of wait for the market to kind of play itself out on one way or the other. We can only wait for it to to make a move for us to have an opportunity. It's otherwise it's kind of tough. So that's where we're at. Anybody have any questions? Now is the time to ask. But I just want to wish everybody a very happy new year coming up for 2021. I hope we definitely can get past all this COVID situation and try to turn a corner into having a safer and healthier 2021 and hopefully profitable 2021. And so I just want to tell everybody that we're not going to be here the rest of the week. It's going to be exceptionally slow. So it doesn't really bode too well for, you get, like I said, like we had earlier this morning where we get one-way trade one way or the other, and it gets kind of tough to, it's a very, very thin trade. So it's probably better, like I said, for us to be able to save our money, wait for 2021, which is right around the corner, and then go from there. So I want to wish everybody a happy new year, and again, we'll um, but as far as today, we have our parameters. Market might kind of just stay in this little range here the rest of the day. We don't know, but if we do extend one way or the other, we have kind of key points to look at. And again, all the key points are based on price action. And that's where we're at right now. All right, get back here in a bit.